Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 16th to the 30th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aquarius, October 16th to the 30th, 2021, Aquarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. All right. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At our root, we have the Death card, Scorpio energy. If we have Scorpio within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our root. And then we have the World. So it's almost like a part of us is dying away to be reborn. And that, excuse me, just going to take a sip of water. That can seem a little upsetting to us at times. During this time, from the 16th to the 30th, there's going to be the sense of, I kind of want things to be how they once were, but there's this transformation, there's this power that's moving us forward, that's saying, no, the change is good. So that's going to be really quite beautiful. We have the Four of Air, the Four of Swords. We need to honor what we have been through, and we need to see that it's because of our past. It's because of everything that we have been through and endured and gained an understanding of, that we can start to fly to new heights. We can start to soar. The Five of Earth, poverty mentality, a need to rest and also come to terms with the hurts that we have been through, with the lack that we have been through, with the suffering that we have been through. It's inwardly, we can be really hard on ourselves during this time. So we're going to have to be mindful about that. Our emotional selves, we have the Eight of Wands and we have the Nine of Swords. Everything is moving very, very quickly, and we can have a tendency to be in our own heads, overthinking, overanalyzing, really being drawn to nightmares, doubts, fears, instead of prosperity. There's always going to be the sense of, but it could all fail. And it's like, yeah, it could all fail, but it could all succeed too. So that's something to be aware of. The Nine of Wands, in the public arena, a lot of people's ideas, a lot of people's words, a lot of people's actions are coming into play, and they want to tell us, this is the way to be, this is the way to move forward, this is what we should do, this is what we shouldn't do. And there is going to be a time here where it's like, well, what about me? Like, what do I want? What do I need? How do I need to move forward? With the Chariot, there is this sense of love that guides us. And there is this need to step back into love. Because Aquarius, that's going to be one of the touchstones, the cornerstones for us during this time. It's like, if I can embrace love, if I can move towards my heart, if I can, stand in the essence of me and show up calmly and serenely and powerfully and honestly for me, for what I desire, for what I want, for what I need, that's the game changer here. That's what sets everything apart. And everything that's coming in, all the doubts, all the fears, getting into too much into our own heads, that is going to start to dissipate as we start to move forward in love, but also as we embrace this transformation. Now let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. We have the Prince of Swords. Now, as air sign energy ourselves, we can have a tendency during this time to just think any action, whether it's, good action, bad action, any action is going to be better than inaction. And the fact of the matter is, that's not always true. Sometimes we think, okay, if I'm acting, if I'm moving, if I'm going, I can at least get there. But sometimes we wind up tripping ourselves up. We wind up, making the wrong move just to have made a move. And so here with the Prince of Swords, we're also being told very distinctly from spirit, don't be rash. Don't be rash during this time, because there are so many things that we're dealing with, so many other voices that are coming in, that we can start to think, what, just go for it. Just slay every dragon. Just go for everything. Leave no rock unturned, sort of thing. And while spirit is saying, though, slaying the nightmares that we have, the doubts, the fears, the dragons, quote unquote, that is going to be the best thing for us. But making this time one constant battle, when we still have to rest, where we still have to, acknowledge all the hurt and the pain that we have been through, all the trials and the tribulations that we have walked through, that's going to be exhausting. We're also going to align ourselves and be drawn to people who are a bit of drama. They just are a bit of drama. They have a little bit too much going on. And I don't know how else to say that. They have just a little bit too much going on. It's always drama. It's always trauma. It's always, everything is always larger than life, and it's exhausting. So we have to be very mindful of who we give our energy to during this time, because again, inwardly we are tired. We need to rest, and we can just be exhausted, and it can just be overwhelming. It moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Ooh, okay. We have Rebirth falling right on top of the Death card, which is beautiful. So again, the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new, the sense of once we were inching along like caterpillars, and now we get to soar like butterflies. This is the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. This is a sense of connecting with the earth, with our roots to this earth, with what we desire, with what we want, with what we need, with who we are. And that becomes very powerful for us. That becomes a game changer. Now let's talk about the astrology during this time. On the 16th of October, we have Mercury sextile Venus. This is absolutely beautiful energy to start this time with, because Mercury controls communication, Venus rules love, and we have this wonderful, social, beautiful, connective energy during this time. We love to be around people. Even if it's just a small group of people, a small group of family, we are going to love to sit and to talk and to just embrace and chat and embrace pleasure, embrace happiness, embrace laughter, a pot of tea, a glass of wine, whatever it is that makes us feel comfortable and, just cozy and at home. That's going to be the best thing. That is going to be the best thing. Also, a cup of hot chocolate, something to raise the dopamine levels. That's going to be really, really good for us on the day of the 16th. Now, the 17th of October brings us back to kind of that familiar energy that we've been used to, with the new moon that we had to endure, with everything that's been going on in the world, with the sun squared Pluto. We say goodbye to the calm energy of Mercury sextile Venus. And again, hello to the intensity. And this is going to be a time where if we focus, and if we can be focused, Aquarius, on the way that we want to move forward, on, one specific thing on the 17th of October that we want to get done, all of a sudden it can be a game-changing time. Even if we break up the 17th of October and say, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes doing things that I need to do, like getting things tidied up or working on certain things. It could be 20 minutes if we need to work on something, but I'm going to kind of change it up. I'm going to kind of toss it like a salad and see what comes up. That's going to be something that's very beneficial for us. There's a need to let go of our ego. There's a need to release a lot of a lot of things that we have been holding on to from the past that we're going to think, okay, if I just work hard enough, if I just push hard enough, that will no longer be an issue. And yet Spirit is saying it's not outrunning it that's going to make it no longer an issue. It's looking at it dead in the eye and saying, you don't have any power over me. That releases us from that ego's bond. Now, on the 18th of October, we have a couple of things coming up. We have Jupiter going direct, we have Mercury going direct, and we have Mars trine Jupiter. So let's start off with Jupiter going direct. When Jupiter goes retrograde, which it did in June, okay, we are given 4 months of spiritual and inner contemplation and need evaluation type of thing. Things start coming up, things that have held us back, doubts, fears, chaos, hurts, pains. And this is going to be the time that we look at them openly and honestly and we say, why? Why is this trauma here? Why is this drama here? We can also start to see that we have kind of pinpointed something in our lives that has really defined us. And it's not going to be in that best way. It's not like, oh, wow, I got this gold ribbon. It's going to be, this was my greatest trial, my greatest hurt, my greatest pain, my greatest sacrifice. And we're going to see how we incorporate that into our day-to-day life, not in the, this is what I had to give up or this is what I had to fight through, but this was my battle. This was my war. This was my seeing that if I could get through this, I could see my worth. I can, embrace who I am. And we might not have done it perfectly because we're going to want to go for perfect here. But having embraced this with truth and with honesty and seeing the harsh truth and being really real with ourselves, that becomes the game changer. And now with Jupiter going direct, we have the courage and the insight to act upon the revelations that we have seen, to act upon the desires that we have had. And all of a sudden it becomes what we once were like deeply ashamed of or what we once hid from is now going to be something that really empowers us, that really emboldens us to move forward. And it's really needed to take advantage of this insight. Now we do have Mercury going direct, which we can celebrate for because we're like, okay, Mercury's out of retrograde. But when Mercury goes direct, we have a shadow period from the 18th of October to the 2nd of November. And that still mucks around with communications and travel and, work and everything to do with communicating with other people. The shadow period here is like a cloak of Mercury retrograde still being around us, a thin cloak, but it's still there. What we have, though, is we have the star alignment of Vindamatrix and Parima. Now, Vindamatrix is just a vengeful star. It's a fixed star, and it brings with it melancholy, impatience, and rash decisions. That's why we have to be very mindful of just saying, no matter what, just acting, just going, just, doing something is better than nothing. This is going to be a time where kind of stepping back and saying, okay, what do I need? What do I want? Am I acting out of hurt? Am I acting out of pain? Am I acting because I feel like I'm, boxed into a corner type of thing? That becomes a very powerful thing for us during this time. With Vindamatrix, we have to really be mindful of keeping a high energy vibration, because if we don't, we're kind of brought to the dark side of things, the things where it feels like I'll never see the light of day again. I'll never see the beauty. I'll never know joy. It's like the world is tinged in gray. We become very melancholy. We become very drawn to the macabre, true crime, horror, murder mysteries. Those are going to be the things that we are just drawn to, and we can feel it inside bringing us down, lowering our energy vibration, but we're going to be like, well, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. What we let into our psyches is a very big deal. And so here we have to say to the Matrix, I know what you're tempting me with. I'm not going to be brought down by you. Then we have Parima. Now, Parima is another fixed star. And again, if we come to this with a low energy vibration, all of a sudden we become astoundingly nihilistic. All of a sudden it's like, what? It doesn't matter. We're all going to, end up in the ground anyway. Just do what you want. And people who seem to lie, cheat, and steal get ahead more than people who are honest. So I don't care. And that is the wrong approach to take to life. Because yes, it might seem like people who lie, cheat, and steal get what they want, but do they? Or do we just perceive them as getting what they want? Are they the happiest people in the world? I don't think so. And I haven't seen that at all. But what Parima also gives us, if we come with a higher energy vibration, it gives us an understanding of the underhanded side of people. All of a sudden we start to see people, not for who they want to be, not for how they want to dress themselves up. It's like a pig in makeup is still a pig type of thing, you're going to see the pig for who it is. And you're not going to see them for, the lie that they are telling. And that becomes a superpower. It's like, no, I'm not falling into your lie. I'm not falling into your deceit. I'm not falling into your trickery. I'm not here for it. Then we have Mars trine Jupiter. Now, this is absolutely beautiful energy. So we have success, and this brings us forward into success. This moves us towards strength and confidence. And all of a sudden, we're embracing the sensual, creative energy and the sense of, this is me. This isn't, me when I lose, 5 pounds. This isn't me when I, get that promotion. This isn't me when I, whatever it is that I want to do to impress people. This is me now. And I'm falling in love with me. I'm seeing my worth. I'm seeing my power. I'm seeing my justice for myself, my harmony for me. And this becomes a time of good luck. Like, luck is on our side. There's beauty here. There's also a beautiful way of connecting with our sacral chakra that can just be a game changer and also help us alleviate so much of the dramas from this life and from past lives that we carry with us. On the 20th of October, we have the Hunter's full moon in Aries, and we'll get into that full moon in another video. On the 22nd of October, we have Mars squared Pluto. So we are set to achieve our potential and increase our power. This is the time of drive and determination and energy, and we just feel like we can go, we can get things done. This is a time to get the job done and go after what it is that we want, even though our tempers might be a bit short, because it's like, okay, I can see this, why can't you see this? And everybody's going to kind of feel this way on the 22nd, so just be mindful of that. Now, highlight, circle, put a notification in your phone for the 26th of October. Venus is going to be squared Neptune. This is going to be a tricky time, period, and a discussion. It's going to be hard for us during this time to embrace self-love, to recognize our worth. We can be really down on ourselves, really sensitive, really willing to believe the worst in us. And because we have trickiness coming in during this time, it can just feel like it's compounding. It's compounding. And it's like, okay, well, what is it even for? And we're going to forget all the beauty that we have here, all the brilliance that is moving us forward. So just be mindful of this. It also carries into the 27th of October, because the 27th of October, we have us coming out of the energy of Venus squared Neptune, and then going into, on the 28th, Venus sextile Jupiter. So as we're going into this energy, we feel like this roller coaster of, I can't love myself, I don't know my worth, I'm comparing myself to everybody else, what am I even doing here? And then we have the Venus sextile Jupiter energy, which washes away our doubts and fears of, Venus squared Neptune, and has us falling in love with ourselves, knowing our worth, seeing things really quite profoundly imbalanced. We know that there has to be the highs and there has to be the lows for us to appreciate the highs. We have this sense of adventure. We have this sense of, it's a great time to go after what it is that we want, what it is that we need, where it is that we want to be. And so the 28th of October, we really see ourselves kind of stepping into our own. On the 30th of October, the sun is squared Saturn. And this is a beautiful place to end, because we are challenged by our own insecurities. We start to see our insecurities. We start to see where we've been held back, where we've been denied, where we've been doubting ourselves. And we're not running away from it. We're looking at it dead on. And we're saying, oh, I see you. I see you fear. I see you doubt. I see you lies. I see you hurt. I see you pain. This is the perfect time for late bloomers. This is the perfect time for those of us who have forgotten our worth. This is the perfect time to step into our power, to start to see ourselves, not only just for ourselves, but starting to claim how far we've come and letting others see it too. It isn't about being braggadocious. It isn't about being egotistical. It's about saying, this is my worth. This is my power. This is my brilliance. And I get to move forward in so much more than what even I realized. And it moves us to the death card. We have this dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. There is this sense here of, I'm not the same person coming out of this time period as I was going into it. But there's also been this sense for the whole year of 2021 that I am not the same person that I once was. And for some of us here, for a lot of us, whenever we're going through a profound change, even if it's a marvelous change, like let's say you're getting married, there's still this fear. It's like, oh my gosh, what if I muck this up? What if I go into this next phase of my life that I'm so, blissfully happy for, and it just all falls apart? And that's going to be the feeling that we have here, whether we're going into a high note or whether we're kind of changing things, but things are kind of staying at the same energy level. We're worried about messing it up. We actually put way too much on our shoulders during this time, Aquarius, and we have to be mindful of that. This sense of transformation, this sense of change, this sense of reacquainting ourselves with the earth and our grounding and our understanding, that's so important. That is so important to understand that we're shedding away so much that is no longer needed. We're alleviating so much hurt and pain from our hearts that we've been carrying, that all of a sudden the world starts to open. And because we are this new person, quote unquote new person, it can feel challenging to have us open up to this power, to this insight, to this intensity. It can also feel challenging to understand that we're stepping into a new season of our existence, a new passion and power of ourselves. And so we can doubt it. We can doubt it as we start to say, where do I want to stand within the world? What is it that I desire? What is it that I want? What is it that I need? Where is it that I want to be? So often we think success is, this mega money success. We think success is, people knowing our name and shouting it as we walk down the street. That gets old really fast. You don't want that type of success. I mean, maybe some do, but that's a whole different beast. Here, when we're deciding where we want to stand within the world, when we're embracing our power and our passion and our insights and our ideas, we're carving out our own little spot, our own little future, our own little connection. And that becomes everything. That becomes powerful. We're learning where we want to stand. We're learning who we are. We're learning what we want and what we need and where it is that we want to be. And it moves us to the Four of Swords. It moves us to this place, the Four of Air, to this place where we need to rest, where we need to embrace our voice. We need to embrace our ideas. We need to embrace what we desire from life, where it is that we want to be. We need to give ourselves time to heal from everything that we have been through. We need to honor ourselves, honor the hurts and the pains that we have been through, honor the ideas that have guided us, honor us, period, end of discussion. Not in an egotistical way, but in this way that says, wow, the road wasn't easy, wasn't? The road wasn't easy. And as I acknowledge this, I acknowledge me. And we look at the Five of Earth, the poverty mentality, because that's what the Five of Earth is in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And here we have the Death. Here we have the Rabbit. And it's a mommy rabbit because, you have the nipples at the bottom, and then you have the bunnies here, and there's this sense of I'm taking care of what I need to take care of. I am feeding and growing what I have brought forth into this world, what I have brought forward into my life. And so this could be children, this could be creative endeavors, this could be, a sense of, I know there's something more out there for me. I know that I can break down this barrier. I know that I can open up this door. And all of a sudden, the poverty that has been a part of us, that we're taking a rest from, the sense of it's always going to be a battle, isn't it? It's always going to be a fight. It's always going to bring up hurt and pain and disappointment. All of a sudden, we start to see things changing in our hearts and in ourselves. And it brings us to this place. It's very interesting because we have this place of fast change. We have this place of, things are moving forward and I'm going after, and the door is opening and it's like, ready or not, here it comes. And yet there's a part of us that says, I'm not ready for this at all, period, end of discussion. There's doubts and there's fears and there's things that are overwhelming, and I'm looking at things and not seeing myself. I'm looking at everything that needs to be done. I'm looking at everything that is expected of me. This is a robbing of sleep. Now we can have a stress mechanism, a way of coping with things, being that I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to stay up. I'm going to work on the problem. I'm going to find out the answers. If that's our way of coping with things during this time, kind of step back from it and see if we can get ourselves to bed, 15 minutes earlier every single day until we're at the point that we want to be at, or, even 5 or 10 minutes earlier. This is going to be a time where we need to turn off the worry, where we need to say, I can't change everything. I can't save everyone. I can't be everything to everyone. And all of a sudden we start to see the change that led us to worry also leads us to an understanding of ourselves and the weight that we've put on ourselves, the hurt and the pain that we've tried to solve, and saying, this is all what I have to do in order to make sure that everybody else is happy. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not, because we have the repeat of the number 9 here. And the number 9 is telling us that we're so close to the completion of a cycle. We're so close to getting to where it is that we want to be. The 9 of Wands is the sense of everybody has an opinion, and it's going to be really hard in the public arena during this time. It can be that we're, we're having to debate with people. It can be that we're having to, sit down and really hash things out with everybody, or that everybody's allowed to, put in their 2 cents, or everybody is putting in their 2 cents. And it's kind of like, okay, but how do I move forward? Like, how do I get to where it is that I want to be? And we have to remember that it's us, ourselves, that are fighting this battle, that are, in this world, that have been through it, that are living through it. And so we have to do what's right for us. Not what's right for everybody else, but what's right for us. And as we do this, as we embrace this, as we understand this, we start to say, okay, I can't live for you. I can't live for anybody else. I need to live for me. I need to. And so we put this barrier up between us and everybody else. Not this barrier of, I'm not letting you in. This barrier of, I need to listen to my own inner guidance right now. I need to listen to those who really love me and care for me. Yes, of course, their guidance is welcome, but I need to also see what I want, because there's just such a sense here, Aquarius, of always listening to everybody else and letting ourselves be swayed and being like, oh, okay, you're right. Like, that's a better idea. Or, oh, okay, yeah, that makes so much more sense. And now it's like, okay, well, maybe it doesn't make a lot of sense. And maybe it's not the best idea I ever had, but I have to run with it. I have to go with it. And it's not being this impetuous, kind of like, devil may care type of person. It's really saying, this is where I need to be, and this is what I need to do for me. And if I turn away from it, if I walk away from it, I'm always going to doubt. I'm always going to wonder, what if? And it moves us then to the Chariot. It moves us to this place of having the subconscious and the conscious come together. It moves us to this place of listening to our hearts and listening to what we desire and knowing what it is that we want and moving ourselves forward towards more, forward in a way that we hadn't expected. And it brings us to this place of our heart. It brings us to this place of ideas and ideals. And it brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And that is the King of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but also the sense of having to have everything be perfect, having to have everything be right and exactly where it needs to be. And what Spirit is going to say at this time is that you're not going to get it right every single time. There are going to be bumps along the way. There are going to be pains and there are going to be hurts. But if we always expect that we have to do more, if we always expect that there has to be meaning and there has to be purpose to it, and if we don't just let things happen, we're going to miss out on a lot. Meaning that we're going to think that we're just going to kind of judge it by how much it's worth. How much does it cost? What is the monetary value of everything? What can I boil it down to? And this is going to be a time where it's like, stop it and look at where you are and look at how far you've come. We're also going to be surrounded by people or have somebody around us who very much is, well, show me the books, show me how things are moving forward. Show me your success. Show me your failures. Let me do it all out for you. And Aquarius, that's not going to be how you embrace this during this time. You're going to know, okay, yeah, I've messed up certain places, I've succeeded in others, but I can't walk away. There's something here that we just can't walk away from. And it's something that is powerful and purposeful to us, but that others may not fully understand. And it's not saying let it be a money pit. It is saying there is more to life than money. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is soul's healing. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This is a time of healing. This is a time of connection. This is a time of love. This is a time of knowing that there is more here than meets the eye. Our subconscious rooted message is the Tower. Things are falling apart and we can feel it. We can feel that things are changing and it feels like things are falling apart. They're not the way we thought they were going to be. It's not what we had intended, but divinity is saying, I'm pushing you out of your comfort zone for a reason. I'm pushing you towards this. This transformation into the world is for a reason. Trust me. Trust me. And for some of us, we've been going through this Tower time forever. It almost feels like we can't remember a time when we weren't fighting, where there weren't battles, where there wasn't chaos. And now we're starting to look at it and say, am I coming out of this Tower time? Like, am I embracing this change within myself so that I look at that time in my life and I give it gratitude and thanks for how it has changed me, how it has moved me forward, how it has made me wiser, how it has given me more compassion than I had had before. But I am moving towards where I need to be, towards how I need to fly in this world. And the Tower is saying where we once stood, what we once had, it's different. And we're not going to be able to go backwards, but there's a power to moving forwards. Our subconscious in ourself is the ace of air. Now, as air sign energy, we have this beautiful gift from divinity that's just for us. This beautiful sense of made of bone and of spider web, of made of the earth to sing the song of our existence, of our desire, of our wants, of our needs, of our passions, of who we are and who we aren't. And this is going to be a time where we embrace our voice, where we start to find our voice, where we gain an understanding and an insight of who we are and where it is that we want to be. And it moves us to our emotional self. And that's the Chariot coming through again. Now we start to see inwardly, emotionally, that we're taking the waters, we're taking the emotions, and we're having them become horses. We're having them become the guiding forces that lead us forward. We're not having them guide us. We're not having them just kind of sweep us away in a storm. We're having them lead us through precision, through ideas, through connection. And this is a time where our emotional self and our spiritual self and our understanding of ourselves really starts to come forward, really starts to transform. It leads us then to our, and I like that, 7, 8, and the 9, this beautiful progression that comes through the absolute connection with our hearts and our desires. And it leads us then to the Ace of Cups. We take this because the Chariot is a water sign energy. And so we have this sense of love and of healing coming forward, but we also have this sense of so much weight that we carry within our hearts being washed away, being released from us. And we start to say, wow, I feel like I can breathe again. I feel like there's joy in my life again. I feel like I can walk towards happiness, or I know what happiness is for me. Instead of feeling like I'm trying to figure it out, I'm always trying to figure it out. And the Ace of Cups washes away so much. It brings so much forward. It connects us with love in our hearts. Yes, we're going to be sensitive during this time. Yes, we're going to feel things more deeply than others. That's not going to be a bad thing. It's not going to be a bad thing at all. All right, Aquarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we know our worth, and we stand in that worth. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aquarius.